Father passed the parchment slowly around the table, letting us examine it. Zander leaned forward, eyes darting across the inked words again and again. "This could be anyone," he said finally, his voice tense but uncertain. "Anyone could have written this. How do we even know it's real?" "Because," Mother replied softly, her gaze distant, "besides your father and me, your grandfather was the only one who knew her name was Amelia." Father nodded. "She was hidden from all visitors. No one knew of her existence besides the three of us." I looked from the letter to their faces, my chest tightening. Then whoever wrote this must know us. Deeply. Maybe too deeply. I swallowed hard. "When was it left?" Father drew a slow breath. "It must have been placed there while we were out slaughtering the sheep, and your mother was tending to Chester and Hazel. When Zander came to fetch you, I found it waiting on the doorstep." He paused, his eyes lowering to the parchment, as if it might whisper more truth if he stared long enough. "Whoever left it was in a hurry." There were no tracks, no sound. Just this. The candlelight flickered against the letter's edges, the crimson wax seal glinting like a drop of blood. "Even if it's a fake, we need to know if she's out there, and what danger we might be in," Father said at last, his tone resolute but weary. "Your mother and I spoke about it before you boys returned from the fields. We've decided to go to the Aberrant Tower and find out what this is about." "This is ridiculous," Zander burst out, his chair screeching against the floor as he shot to his feet. The light from the hearth caught the sharpness in his expression, a mixture of anger and fear. "Even if it's real, the tower is 5 days away. We've got nothing but Hazel and Chester, and they can't carry the 4 of us halfway across the Bell Bay region." His voice rose, desperate now. "You can't make that journey alone, and definitely not on horseback. And what danger is she even talking about? Danger from what? From who? This letter. It's a ruse, Father. It has to be. Someone's trying to lure us into something." He turned away, clenching his fists. "I won't let you or Mother walk into a trap." "Settle down, Zander," Mother's voice rang out, sharp and trembling with emotion. She rarely raised her tone, but the weight of her words filled the small room. "She is our daughter," she said, her voice breaking slightly. "And she is your sister. If there is even the smallest chance she's alive, we will take it." Zander's shoulders sagged, his anger faltering beneath the conviction in her voice. The room fell still, but for the crackle of the fire, each of them caught between disbelief and a fragile, dangerous hope. "We've made our decision," Mother said after a long silence, her tone steady, though her eyes glistened faintly in the firelight. "Your father and I want you both to come with us. We've spoken. We'll sell some of the sheep come morning and use the coin to buy a wagon that Hazel and Chester can pull. We'll hire a farmhand to tend the rest of the flock while we're away. No more than 13 days, 5 there, 5 back, and perhaps a few to spare. Whether you join us or not is your choice, but we would have our family together." Zander sank slowly back into his chair, the anger fading from his face, though worry still lingered. He looked from Mother to Father, then to me, searching for something certain to hold on to. At last, I broke the silence. "If this is what you've chosen," I said quietly, "then I'll come with you." Zander shot me a look, half surprise, half disbelief, before sighing heavily. "I still think it's madness," he muttered. "But if you're all going, I'm not letting you go alone. Someone has to keep an eye on things." Mother's lips curved into a small, grateful smile. "It is what we want," she said softly, her voice full of warmth. Father pushed back his chair and rose, clapping his hands together as if to lift the weight from the room. "Then it's settled," he said with a grin that felt like sunlight breaking through cloud. "At sunrise, you two will head into town, hire a farmhand, sell some of the sheep, and buy a cart. If all goes well, we'll be on the road by midday. It's about time we had a change of scenery." He nodded toward the door, his tone softening. "Now, help your mother bring in the meat so she can start dinner. We'll talk more on the road tomorrow. There'll be time enough for questions then. For now, let's enjoy a warm meal and a quiet night together." We stood and stepped out into the cool night air to fetch the meat Mother had set aside from the sheep. Inside, she worked quietly, and before long, the rich scent of roasting lamb filled the cottage. It was, I think, the finest meal I had ever tasted. No one spoke of the letter, though its weight lingered in the silence between us. Even laughter felt strange, forced, like something fragile trying to live beneath a heavy sky. When the dishes were washed and the fire burned low, we said our goodnights and stepped outside. The evening air was cool and sharp, carrying the faint hum of crickets and the soft rustle of trees. "I think I'm going to take a walk," Zander said, pulling his cloak tighter. "Tonight's been a lot. I need to clear my head. Mind if I come?" I asked. He gave a small nod. I could use the company. We followed the path down toward the fields, past the grazing sheep and the fences glinting faintly under the moonlight. Finally, we sat on the low stone wall overlooking the valley, where the town lights shimmered like scattered embers in the dark. For a long while, neither of us spoke. "We've always talked about adventure," I said at last, my voice low. "Maybe this is our chance." Zander tore absently at a blade of grass, eyes lost on the horizon. "Maybe," he muttered. "But let's say, for a moment, that letter was true. What kind of danger could she mean? Who would even want to harm our family? The villagers, maybe, trying to push us out again." The question hung in the night air. I had no answer, only a chill crawling across my skin. Then, without warning, the darkness behind us bloomed with violent light. A flash, then another, larger. The ground beneath us glowed red as if the earth itself had caught fire. Heat licked the back of my neck. The smell of smoke filled the air. We turned in unison. At the crest of the hill, where our cottages stood, flames clawed at the sky. The fire roared hungrily, swallowing the walls in a matter of breaths. Sparks danced like dying stars, carried by the wind across the fields. Zander's breath hitched, horror tightening his face. "The house," he whispered. My heart thundered in my chest. The world seemed to tilt, every sound swallowed by the rush of fire. The danger the letter warned of was not distant, not imagined. It was real, and it had already begun.